What's up, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. Got a video for you guys. This one's going to be Shane Mosley versus Roberto Duran fantasy matchup. This is definitely going to be lightweight because to me, I think that lightweight we had a better Shane Mosley than at welterweight, and I'll tell you the reasons why I think Shane Mosley was a better lightweight. It seemed to me as if Shane Mosley used the jab a whole lot more. He went to the body a lot more as a lightweight, and it seems as if he kind of cut off the ring a little bit better as a lightweight. I thought he was a better boxer at lightweight, and I just think that he was a better lightweight than he was welterweight, or possibly even the same. You know, I believe he knocked out like all of his opponents as a lightweight, and until he moved up. He won the IBF lightweight championship, defeating Philip Holliday, I believe 96 and 97, and was just knocking out everybody. He was at the time he was quick on his feet, had a very quick jab to where fighters were very apprehensive about going inside and trying to fight with him because he was so quick and had so much power in his left hand. And like if you look at some of the fights, sometimes down the stretch, some fighters were able to get inside with him, but he was so strong because he was a weightlifter and stuff. He was a weightlifter, and sometimes with weightlifters, later in fights their hands get heavy. But Mosley seemed to, he seems to be all right late in fights compared to a lot of weightlifters or powerlifters. But overall, Shane Mosley versus Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran, no need for any introduction. Perhaps the greatest lightweight of all time. Very tough. Applied a lot of pressure. Was always in front of you. It was always, always when he threw punches, when he threw his combinations, he always had to come out with something. If he missed the first two punches, he'll probably get you with the third punch, whether it be to the body, whether it be up top. He's always trying to land something. He's always trying to touch you. That's the kind of fighter that Duran was. A lot of fighters out there, they flicker out the jab to keep opponents off of him. But Duran always wanted to land somewhere, whether it be the elbow, the shoulder, even the hip, or the rib cage, or even the neck. Roberto Duran was always trying to land somewhere. He was always marching forward. He was always, he would move his head too. Sometimes he'll catch punches. When he's moving his head and trying to walk in, sometimes he would catch punches. But even though he would catch punches, it's kind of scary to know that a fighter's going to take your best punches to come in and try to knock you out, or come in and try to hurt you. That's just the kind of fighter that Roberto Duran was. So when I think about this fight, I think about this. Roberto Duran did kind of have problems trying to get close to fighters that had quick feet. And Shane Mosley had quick feet. If you look at but also he actually did quite well in some fights. The second fight with Esteban de Jesus, in the second fight, it was a big ring, and de Jesus was, he was quite quick on his feet, and he used his jab to try to keep him outside. But Duran found his way to be close to him. He was like I said, he was trying to land something. He continued to go to the body. He continued to try to slow him down. Just continued to march forward. He didn't take a step back. Like he doesn't walk like a Michael Cassidy's walks, but it was he always kept that left foot forward. Sometimes the right foot would be square up with the left. But when the right would be square with the left, he's throwing something. His feet didn't have to be planted. He would throw from out of range. He would take a lot of risk. And Mosley took risks from time to time. He could take punches. Like I say, he was a good body puncher. He was a great body puncher at lightweight. If he got you on the ropes, he's going to the body. Quick, hard shots to the body. But the thing with Mosley is Mosley seemed to somehow, some way, always be out of position at lightweight. His feet would just be out of position. His hands would be out of position. But he would get away with it because he was so quick. He was quick. he had more of a jab at lightweight. He had a lot more power at lightweight. He had power at lightweight. Was a lot faster. But the thing with Mosley was, I think that Mosley did fight in smaller rings, which favors a Roberto Duran, a fighter that comes forward. At lightweight had a stiff jab. Was always going to the body, always going somewhere, always trying to touch his opponent, and always remain close. And as quick as Mosley was, I see Mosley probably giving him trouble in the first 4 rounds, but I see Duran coming back in 5 through 12 and just outworking him, getting inside. I'm going to the body, just continuously trying to touch Mosley. Because I think with Mosley is fighters didn't touch him at 135. Very few did, but it was hard to just touch him with hard shots and get him with the full, blunt force of the shot because he moved. And he did tuck his chin, he did move his shoulders around quite a bit. But Duran was always, throwing towards, a part of the body, always trying to get his shots in. Was always, applying some type of pressure. And sometimes he'd be on the outside, just throwing his jab. But, he had good, upper body movement to where he always just got inside and always found a way to get inside and get his head on the chest. And I think that Mosley would have, since Mosley did stand in front of opponents, Duran does have a chance to get his head on his chest and just continue to go to the body. So I would go with Roberto Duran beating Mosley probably by a decision or a late TKO. Mosley is a tough fighter, so I'll just give him the benefit of the doubt and say decision, but for Roberto Duran. At welterweight, it's a different story. I think at welterweight, Mosley might be able to beat him at welterweight. 154, definitely. I would go with Mosley at 154. Welterweight is kind of iffy. I think Duran did fight well at welterweight as long as the opponent stood right in front of him. If you stand right in front of him and you weren't countering him, then I think Duran could probably win a fight at welterweight. But I'd say that welterweight is up in the air. 154, I would go with Mosley, just because Duran had a lot of power at 154. If you look at could slaughter fighters at 154. If you look at the Davey Moore fight, I think in '81, Davey Moore, I think he fought Cuevas at 154. But I think that Mosley would probably have the upper hand at 154. Because he has a good left hook and a good straight right hand. But who knows? But anyway, at lightweight, I would go with Duran. At welterweight, up in the air, 154, I would go with Mosley I would pick Mosley over Duran. So anyway, peeps, I'm out of here. Julian Williams, that was the distance. Peace.